Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. My name's Michelle. I'm joined today with Jessica, and we are giving the penguins their lunchtime offering. They get a mixture of herring and capelin. Most penguins like to have either or. And what Jessica's doing is she's offering the food to the specific penguins and letting me know which one is taking what. Now, during this time of year, this is their migration time, so you're going to be hearing a lot of vocalizations, and that's what you're hearing. It's talking about territory. They're kind of discussing the day's events. So all these things kind of make it where they're not all that hungry. They would spend the next 2 to 3 months just kind of swimming around foraging for food, so they spend a lot more time on in the water than on deck. Now, we do have some exceptions. Over on Jessica's right, we have one of our youngsters. Now, that is a juvenile penguin, and the way that I can tell it's a juvenile penguin is the fact that it doesn't have that double black band like the other adults do. And over on my left, you see one of our penguins, and that's Jade. And Jade is finishing up with her molt. Now, when a penguin goes through a molt, it's known as a catastrophic molt. And that's because they lose all their feathers at once. Normal birds will lose 1 to 2 feathers. These guys will bulk up weight. About 45% of their weight will be added. Then all of a sudden they will lose all their feathers. It lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks, and it's a lot of fun for them. Really not. They are pretty much miserable for these time, but we keep it nice and easy for them. We give them their food in their nest boxes if they want it, and we just try to make it as comfortable as possible. Now, one thing that you're seeing, is that Admiral coming up? Admiral Fancy Pants, that is his name. He came with that name. He actually is very bonded to us, the trainers, and so he tends to like to come up and just kind of sit with us and doesn't like when other penguins do the same. So a lot of times all he wants to do is just kind of sit in our laps and just lays the day away. And right now he doesn't have a girlfriend, so we're pretty much filling that that role. But he's a little. Yesterday was me, so I'm feeling a little hurt, Jessica. Now, you might notice that we do have some penguins, and like I said, we offer them food 3 times a day. It doesn't look like they're all that hungry, but they're all very vocal right now. Even Jade in her state. Now, that braying is normal. They're relatives of the black-footed penguin, also known as the jackass penguin, because of that bray. A lot of times people are like, hey, this sounds like this. They do that a lot when they are looking at territory. So you just heard Roxy vocalize and pretty much give a warning saying, hey, there's kind of interlopers. So Floyd comes out, who is her mate, to make sure that nobody comes in and tries to take their prime spot. Because they do have one of the best areas for their breeding because it is right close to the water. Now, all the penguins like to get in on it, so you will see all the penguins start heading over when those vocalizations start. You may see some beak jousting where they'll put their heads down. So Skipper is the one that is vocalizing with Floyd, and that's why Jade went down there, because Jade is actually Skipper's mate. It's a little Peyton place here. That's what it is. And now Patsy has to get involved. So it's just a lot of vocalizations. Normally it's quite loud. If I put that on microphone, probably those that are at explore.org can actually hear it as well. Now, we do have some cameras here, so if you ever wanted to see what our penguins are doing when you're not here, you can go to explore.org. We have an above air camera and underwater camera, so you can see them swimming as well, which is great during this time of year because migration time, most of our penguins will spend most of the time in the water. Now, a lot of times people wonder why we don't have ice here. Well, these guys are temperate penguins, meaning that they live off the coast of South America, And this is the type of weather that they like, just like we do. The only difference is the water off the coast of South America is extremely cold. So our water here is around 60 degrees. So if they ever get too warm, all they have to do is pop into the water. Now we feed them a mixture of herring and capelin. Like I said before, each animal has its distinct preferences. Most of our penguins really like the herring. Occasionally, they'll switch back and forth depending on the time of year. Shim, one of our older penguins, is usually a herring eater, but during the times of breeding as well as molt, he switches over to capelin. So as long as we make sure and keep track of it, and that's our jobs as trainers to make sure to do that, we are in good graces with our penguins. Well, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I would like to say thank you all for coming to the aquarium, because your admission does help us take care of all of our animals. So for myself, Jessica, and all the penguins here, we hope you enjoy your day here at the Aquarium of the Pacific, and we hope to see you again real soon.